Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam Secretary, I have some short questions, just if you could respond briefly. And the first has to do with tree spiking, where people drive metal spikes into trees. And do you know can tree spiking kill or maim loggers or mill workers?
Well, I know that, Senator, I imagine so. I was not really familiar with any of that practice until recently.
And you know, is tree spiking in national forests a federal crime?
Senator, I couldn't tell you for sure, but I imagine it is. It's
yeah.
very dangerous.
Yeah. So should individuals who are aware of spiked trees in terms of national forests, should they immediately inform law enforcement?
I imagine that anyone should inform law enforcement if it's a danger, sure.
Yeah. So I guess the question is, you know, should individuals who plan or otherwise are involved in tree spiking incidents and threaten physical safety of federal officials, should they expect to be hired by the Department of Interior?
Senator, if I may, I believe you're referring to the nominee, Tracy Stone-Manning, and I also recognize that she was nominated by President Biden because he felt she could do the job and that she was qualified otherwise.
And the issue of wildfires in the West, which is a major issue as wildfires are burning around the West, national forests burn. There's an interface now with areas where people build homes and forests can burn, and there are problems for sometimes structures who are at risk who are at this interface where structures are built. So do you agree with this statement? Perhaps the solution to houses in the interface is to let them burn.
Well, I can't necessarily agree or disagree, but I mean, I think the wildfires are just getting more intense because of climate change, and that's why we need to make preventative measures and put resources toward protecting communities.
So do you agree with this statement? There's a rude and satisfying justice in burning down the house of someone who builds in the forest.
I don't know.
Okay. Do you agree that children are an environmental hazard?
Do I agree that children
are an environmental hazard?
Yeah. No.
No, okay. Do you agree that grazing on federal lands is destroying the West? These are obviously statements that someone else has made that we disagree with, and I want to see if you're of that same mindset.
I haven't heard all these statements, Senator. I mean, I agree there are a lot of things that are destroying the West, like drought and wildfire and climate change. Of course, climate change is certainly ruining a lot of our country right now.
Yeah. But you wouldn't necessarily want to hire an employee in a land management position who agrees or puts forth these statements about satisfying justice and letting houses burn or children as environmental hazards.
Senator, what I will say is that I, as the Secretary of the Interior, am not personally hiring anyone. I believe that is a team effort, and I know that the Senate plays a very large role in any of these positions as well.